Hello everybody, I'm Dan Murrell here with my breakdown of the second Emmy Awards ceremony of 2024. The first one happened in January after the strike delayed the 2023 Emmys. Now we have the 2024 Emmys, which still cover a lot of stuff that aired in 2023. Listen, the timelines are weird. The point is that we had the biggest awards night in television, and there were some expected wins and some big surprises. So let's break it all down. First of all, looking at the ceremony overall, there were 3 shows that led the way at the primetime ceremony last night with 4 wins apiece. Shogun, which won 18 total Emmys, a new record for a single season of television. The Bear, which won 11 total Emmys, breaking its own record for a single season of a comedy series. And Baby Reindeer, the sleeper Netflix hit, which took home 6 total Emmys. Again, all 3 of those shows won 4 awards on the telecast last night, including the Best Series Award. Hacks was the only other show to take home multiple Emmys on the primetime telecast last night, winning 3, including Best Actress in a Comedy Series for Jean Smart and Best Comedy Series in a prize that many, including myself, had already earmarked for the second season of The Bear. The win for Hacks may be a sign that Emmy voters themselves are getting tired of the discussion about whether or not The Bear is actually a comedy series, and this is well-trodden ground. Look, I understand. So, you know what? This year, I am still going to talk about it a little bit because The Bear is absolutely not a comedy series. When the last Emmys aired back in January, I had not seen The Bear yet, and based off of all the hype in the awards, I have now seen The Bear, and let me tell you, it is a fantastic show. I love the show. Even this last 3rd season, which maybe was a dip in quality for some people, I still thought was really, really good television, but it's not a comedy. The Bear dominating the comedy category would be like if The Sopranos had dominated the comedy category all those years ago. Does Paulie Walnut say some funny stuff all the time? Yeah, sure, absolutely he does. But that show is a drama. And I would argue that The Sopranos is a funnier show than The Bear. Now, I've seen some people claim that the reason that The Bear is in the comedy category is because there are Emmy rules that dictate that if you're a half-hour show, that you have to submit it for the best comedy series. But that rule was actually dropped back in 2021, before The Bear's emergence onto the Emmy scene. So the only reason that The Bear is competing in the comedy series category is because that is where the producers decided to submit it. However, that decision is subject to a review by an Emmys panel, and I think that it is time for that panel to get reviewing. It's actually funny because the leading winner in the best comedy category is a show that's not really a comedy series. And the leading winner in the drama category, Shogun, is a show that was a limited series until it decided to make a season 2 after the first season had already aired, which meant that it had to move from the limited series category to the drama series category. So in an alternate universe, neither of the shows that dominated at the Emmys last night would have dominated in the same category that they won the top prize in. So let's get to the show itself, and ironically, the hosts, Dan and Eugene Levy, who aren't traditional hosts, actually did one of the better hosting jobs for me in recent memory. The material was generally pretty sharp, the delivery was good, they didn't have extended, unfunny bits. They were used sparingly, they got in some good roast jokes about the industry, and they did what I think a good host should do. You pop in every once in a while, say hi, get a laugh, and then keep the show moving along. Really good performance, no notes. I think that they should look at this as a template for how you should use hosts in all award shows going forward.
Some of you might be expecting us to make a joke about whether The Bear is really a comedy. But in the true spirit of The Bear, we will not be making any jokes.
My biggest issue with the broadcast wasn't the hosting for once. It was actually the seeming unwillingness of the Emmys, and this is a trend across all award shows, to show any clips of the shows that they were honoring. I don't think that there was a frame of video shown with audio for any of the nominees in any categories, and that's just a shame. This is a showcase for the best in television, and you'd think that the TV industry might want to show the audience at home why they should watch some of the shows that are being honored. But if you hadn't seen The Bear or Hacks or Only Murders in the Building or Baby Reindeer, the only real takeaway from the awards ceremony is that the faces of the people in the show did indeed match the faces of the stars that were sitting in the audience. And I just don't get it. And I think it's more frustrating when you consider that in the middle of the telecast, and I timed this, there was a 40-plus minute block where they gave out exactly one award. And in the middle of that 40-plus minute block, they had John Leguizamo celebrating himself, celebrating diversity, then the Academy coming out celebrating itself, celebrating diversity, and then a celebration of Greg Berlanti's career where he was also largely celebrated for celebrating diversity, then the In Memoriam segment, which was very nice, with an extended tribute to Bob Newhart. And I'm not saying that any of those things are bad, but I'm saying that if you can find time for that in your ceremony, then you could probably also try to work on finding time to show the shows that you are celebrating instead of also celebrating yourself. Another thing that took up a lot of time was the slate of reunion type things, but they weren't really reunions that they put together. Now, when I talked about the Emmys back in January, I actually praised the reunions that they did because they brought together the casts of well-known shows. And it was fun this year when they did it with Happy Days and The West Wing. But the majority of these group gatherings were random actors thrown together under categories like TV coaches and TV doctors. And quite frankly, it didn't do much for me. I mean, they weren't exactly all-star lineups, and it felt like they just kind of threw together whoever they could. The reunion idea is nice, but it should be a group of people that you like to see together, that have chemistry from years on the air on a hit show, not just a random group of actors who played similar characters across some very different shows. All right, so let's move from the telecast itself to some of the winners, and we'll look first at the comedy category, where The Bear took home 3 of the 4 acting prizes, with Liza Colon-Zayas winning Best Supporting Actress. At least her character is often funny. Eben Moss-Bachrach winning for a second time as Best Supporting Actor, and Jeremy Allen White winning for a second time as Best Actor. And this will be the last extended reference I make to this, but think back to the second season of The Bear, which won for Best Leading Actor in a Comedy, and tell me one joke that Carmy told. As a matter of fact, no. Show me one time that Carmy smiled in the second season. I think the episode he won for was the one where he's like locked in a freezer and having an absolute nervous breakdown. And that got the Emmy for Best Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. If I were Steve Martin or Martin Short or any of the other lead actors who keep losing to The Bear, I can tell you the only murders in the building would be the Emmys Rule Committee. The lone acting win in the comedy category that didn't go to The Bear went to Jean Smart, who won her 3rd Emmy for Hacks. At first, I thought that Io Adebari's move from the supporting category to the lead category may have hurt her in this race, but it turns out that it may have been part of a larger move to give more comedy awards to the comedy show. In the drama category, the supporting prizes were split between The Morning Show, which brought Billy Crudup his 2nd Emmy for Best Supporting Actor, and The Crown, which brought Elizabeth Debicki a much-deserved 1st Emmy win for her role as Princess Diana. The lead drama acting prizes both went to first-time winners for Shogun. Best Actor went to Hiroyuki Sanada, who's been such a presence in TVs and movies for such a long time, and it was great to see him win, not just for his performance as Toranaga, which was great, but for a project that he also produced and was obviously very passionate about bringing to life. Best Actress went to Anna Sawai, who's had a great couple of years, and she was obviously overwhelmed by winning the award. This is why it's nice to give big awards like this, especially at the Emmys, to new people from time to time. In the limited series anthology categories, Baby Reindeer dominated, losing out only in the Best Directing race to Steven Zaillian, who directed Ripley on Netflix. Jessica Gunning won the award for Best Supporting Actress in a limited series for what I thought was a phenomenal performance as Martha, whose alleged real-life counterpart is currently suing Netflix for millions of dollars. I thought Lily Gladstone might win this award after narrowly losing out on the Oscar earlier this year, but really Gunning just could not be denied. She was so good in Baby Reindeer. As a matter of fact, she was so good that when she laughed for real during her acceptance speech, I went into like panic mode. My body kicked into like fight or flight.
So I'm going to sing. No. there, imagine.
Richard Gadd also won for both writing and acting in the show, as well as producing it, and his 3 speeches were, for me, all nominees for the best speech of the night. From his reassurance to people who might be struggling, as he was a decade ago.
But I do know that nothing lasts forever, and no matter how bad it gets always gets better. Yeah, so if you're struggling, keep going.
To his tribute to his parents and the freedom they allowed him in taking his own path in life.
They never ever told me what I needed to do with my life, and they never ever told me who I needed to be. And I think that's the greatest gift a parent can give a child.
To advocating for studios to take more chances on projects like Baby Reindeer that could be deemed too outside the mainstream.
If Baby Reindeer has proved anything, it's that there's no set formula to this. That you don't need big stars, proven IP, long-running series, catch-all storytelling to have a hit. Take risks, push boundaries, explore the uncomfortable, dare to fail in order to achieve.
And remember, at one point, the limited series category was setting itself up to be a huge showdown between Baby Reindeer and Shogun. But when Shogun moved over to the drama category after deciding to do a season 2, that really cleared the way for Baby Reindeer to dominate. And I know there's a lot of TV that I miss. It's still true, although I'm trying to get better. I think I'm getting a little bit better, but I really can't argue with Baby Reindeer winning in any of these categories. Months after I watched the show, it is something that I still think about all the time. Best Supporting Actor in a Limited Series went to Lamorne Morris in Fargo, a show that I loved when it came out, but that I have definitely fallen behind on. Best Actress in a Limited Series went to Jodie Foster for True Detective Night Country. This was her first acting Emmy nomination, her 4th overall as actor, director, and producer. And her Emmy will now sit alongside her 2 Oscars, 3 BAFTAs, and of course, her Blockbuster Entertainment Award for Favorite Female Performance for Contact. It's a huge award right there. Also, Lily Gladstone presented the award to Jodie Foster alongside Greta Lee, and I'm really glad that Lily came ready, not just to present an Emmy, but also to fight Darkseid along the Amazons of Themyscira should the need arise. The variety/talk categories continue to be confusing after they were divided into 2 separate categories. So we have Best Talk Series and Best Scripted Variety Series. These are shows that all used to compete against each other. There were only 2 nominees for Best Scripted Variety Series, Saturday Night Live and Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which I guess counts as a scripted variety series because he doesn't bring on a guest. Last Week Tonight won the Emmy for the 9th consecutive year, with John Oliver giving a memorable speech where he first got his son's name wrong.
Our kid's husband, Hudson, his name is Hudson, ouch.
Then competed with the playoff music to deliver a eulogy for his recently departed dog.
Perfect choice of music. We had to say goodbye to her. It is. I feel like Sarah McLachlan right now.
The Daily Show won the Best Talk Series Emmy, beating out the late night network shows hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and Stephen Colbert. It's the 2nd win in a row for The Daily Show this year after Trevor Noah ended his run with an Emmy in 2023. Well, technically in 2024. You know what I mean. Since 2003, the winner of the Best Variety Series, or whatever the equivalent is, has been either The Daily Show or Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, with a 2-year break where The Colbert Report won the Emmy, which of course is a spinoff from The Daily Show. In the 2 years since they split off the scripted variety and talk categories, the winners haven't been either The Daily Show and Last Week Tonight. They have been both The Daily Show and Last Week Tonight. So in splitting the categories, the Emmys have somehow figured out a way to make 2 dominant shows even more dominant. Alex Edelman, Just for Us, won the Emmy for Best Variety Special, while the Comedy Writing Award went to Hacks. Another upset given that it was competing against Fishes, the acclaimed episode of The Bear that was also up for the Emmy. And the Best Writing for a Drama Series went to Slow Horses, its only Emmy win on the primetime ceremony. Series writer Will Smith was quick to acknowledge that his appearance on the Emmy stage would not go the same way as similar awards show appearances by someone named Will Smith have gone in recent years.
First of all, relax. Despite my name, I come in peace.
The Directing Awards for Comedy and Drama went to Christopher Storer for his work on the Bear episode Fishes, and Frederick E. O'Toole for the penultimate episode of Shogun, Crimson Sky. And finally, we got to the biggest awards of the night. Unsurprisingly, Best Drama Series went to Shogun, which now carries Emmy records into its second season. And surprisingly, Best Comedy went to Hacks, which took home its first Emmy win for Best Comedy in its third season. And with The Bear unable to repeat its Best Comedy win, that means that Frasier, 30 Rock, Modern Family, and Ted Lasso remain the only comedies since 1990 that were able to win in the Best Comedy Series category in both their first and second seasons. Overall, including creative and technical awards, the only shows to bring in double-digit Emmy wins were Shogun with 18 and The Bear with 11. FX easily led all networks with 36 total Emmy wins, their first time taking home the most trophies, followed by Netflix with 24 and HBO/Max with 14. ABC and NBC tied for most wins by a broadcast network with 7 each. CBS had 5 wins, and Fox actually walked away empty-handed. It had 0 wins. Paramount Plus was the only major streamer that walked away from the Emmys without an award, winning 0 awards on 6 nominations. And this was actually the first time in about 15 years that neither HBO nor Netflix led all networks with the most Emmy wins. So those are my thoughts on the Emmys last night. What do you think? Did your favorite shows win? Was there a particular winner that you were super excited about? Let me know down in the comments below, and stay tuned right here on the channel. Charts with Dan will be here tomorrow morning, and I've got a bunch of reviews and other stuff coming up this week. So don't forget to watch those, and thank you as always for spending part of your day here with me. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you then. Bye.